Hi everyone. We're going to start today with an exercise I call extending the breath. And it sort of reminds me of when you pull and stretch out a balloon before you fill it up with air. Makes it easier to fill up. So by kind of stretching our lungs out a little bit and warming the lungs up, it makes it a little easier to take a deep breath. So we're going to just start in a seated or standing position. You can choose. But either way, make sure that you're sitting up tall, nice and tall through your spine. The collarbones are wide, so you're sitting or standing with your best posture. You're nice and long through the neck. And then I invite you to close your eyes here and let the muscles of your face relax. Just take a few moments settling into your normal cycle of breath. Try to bring your attention to your breath as you breathe. And then without making any judgments, begin to notice the rhythm or the pattern of your breath. And you can begin to count it. So it might have a tempo. You can count with numbers or you can just count with a beat. So if you're counting with numbers, it might sound like inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might be counting to 4 or 5 or 6 or maybe even 8. That's all dependent on how fast you're counting and how deep your breath is. So you find the count that works for you and begin to count your breath. Try to match the length of your inhalation and your exhalation. So if you're counting to 6 on your inhale, also count to 6 on your exhalation. And then see if you can extend it by a count or 2 or 3. So if you were inhaling and exhaling to a count of 6, try going for a count of 8 or even 9 or 10. Still trying to match the length of your inhalation and your exhalation. Your eyes can be open or closed. Personally, I find it easier to focus on the breath with my eyes closed. And then the next piece that we're going to add onto this, we're going to continue that nice long, slow breath. And then I'm going to invite you to take a slightly deeper breath and just a little pause at the top. So after a nice long inhalation, getting as much air as you can in, see if you can take in a little bit more, and then take a little moment, a little pause, a moment of suspension before a nice slow exhalation. So trying that little pause at the top of the breath after you've taken a deep breath in, as deep as you can. Take in a little more air at the top and then a really slow exhalation. Try that. That little extra breath in at the top, that's us stretching the balloon out before we fill it up with air. That's that little stretch. A nice slow exhale. And then adding on another step, we're going to do the same little pause at the end of the exhalation. So big, slow inhalation, no rush. Get as much air as you can, and then see if you can take in a little bit more. Pause, suspending at the top, and then a slow exhalation. Then taking a little pause or suspension, holding the breath at the bottom after your exhale before you take another deep breath in. So we're holding the breath just for a moment at the end of the inhale and at the end of the exhale. So try that a few times on your own. Keep going. Taking that big full breath, then taking a little extra air, pausing at the top of the inhale, really slow exhalation, and then pausing at the bottom of the breath before you take another one. As you're doing this, make sure you're sitting with your best posture or standing with your best posture. Make sure you're consciously relaxing your shoulders down. And let these big, deep breaths fill your whole torso up like you're filling up like a balloon. So going back to that image of the balloon, feel yourself filling up, expanding with the deep breath in. The balloon expands to its fullest extent, and maybe gets a little more air, and then it slowly deflates. Really, really slow as you can. And if you want an image for the top of the breath, so after your big, full, deep breath in, right at the top of the breath, it's like that moment on a roller coaster when you've just made it up the hill and you're just like paused at the top before you're about to go down really fast. That's that pause, that suspension. So it's not really stopping the breath. It's not like jarring. It's like a suspend before the exhalation. Let's take one more like that, or maybe two more. Expanding the breath. After you're done, if you'd like to take a few more breaths like this, if you like this practice and want to keep going, you can keep going. And when you're ready, just get back to your normal cycle of breathing.